Charts glow blue on the screen. Coffee and a complaint. We move like a quiet dream. Top tier trading team. Got a map for the climb. Whisper little price lines. Then we step in right on time. Top tier trading team. We move together. Mentorship guiding every step we take. Strategy sessions make the clouds look lighter. We turn those questions into clear plays. Weekly group study halls, we learn and lean. Trading side by side, chasing steady green. Top tier trading team. In rhythm and rhyme, scream, share love. Walking you through in real time. Oh yeah. Little bell ringing, but we already know the tune. Trading minds watching, like the sun follows the moon. QA sessions talking through the fear and the doubt. Private trader group chat where we lay the puzzle out. Real-time phone trade alert, soft buzz and the picture's clear. Come on, take a look right here. You ain't gotta walk that risk alone. Zoomed in candles, zoomed out view. We break it down, then guide you through. Top tier family, bring it all back home. Hey, top tier trading team. We move together. Mentorship guiding every step we take. Strategy sessions make the clouds look lighter. We turn those questions into clear plays. Weekly group study halls, we learn and lean. Trading side by side, chasing steady green. Top tier trading team. In rhythm and rhyme, scream, share love. Walking you through in real time. Oh yeah. Yeah. Early in the morning, charts glow blue on the screen. Coffee and a complaint. We move like a quiet dream. Top tier trading team. Got a map for the climb. Whisper little price lines. Then we step in right on time. Top tier trading team. We move together. Mentorship guiding every step we take. Strategy sessions make the clouds look lighter. We turn those questions into clear plays. Weekly group study halls, we learn and lean. Trading side by side, chasing steady green. Top tier trading team. In rhythm and rhyme, scream, share love. Walking you through in real time. Oh yeah. Little bell ringing, but we already know the tune. trading minds, watching like the sun follows the moon. QA sessions, talking through the fear and the doubt. Private trader group chat where we lay the puzzle out. Real-time phone trade alert, soft buzz and the picture's clear. Come on, take a look right here. You ain't gotta walk that risk alone. Zoomed in candles, zoomed out view. We break it down, then guide you through. Top tier family, bring it all back home. Hey, top tier trading team, we move together. Manage shift, guiding every step we take. Strategy sessions make the clouds look lighter. We turn those questions into clean plays. Weekly group study halls, we learn and lean. Trading side by side, chasing steady green. Top tier trading team, in rhythm and rhyme, screen share love, walking you through in real time. Oh yeah, yeah. Early in the morning, charts glow blue on the screen. Coffee and a complaint, we move like a quiet dream. Top tier trading team, got a map for the climb. Whisper little price lines, then we step in right on time. Top tier trading team, we move together. Manage shift, guiding every step we take. Strategy sessions make the clouds look lighter. We turn those questions into clear plays. Weekly group study halls, we learn and lean. Trading side by side, chasing steady green. Top tier trading team, in rhythm and rhyme, scream share love, walking you through in real time. Oh yeah. Little bell ringing, but we already know the tune. Trading minds, watching like the sun follows the moon. QA sessions, talking through the fear and the doubt. Private trader group chat where we lay the puzzle out. Real-time phone trade alert, soft buzz and the picture's clear. Come on, take a look right here. You ain't gotta walk that risk alone. Zoomed in candles, zoomed out view. We break it down, then guide you through. Top tier family, bring it all back home. Hey, top tier trading team, we move together. Manage shift, guiding every step we take. Strategy sessions make the clouds look lighter. We turn those questions into clean plays. Weekly group study halls, we learn and lean. Trading side by side, chasing steady green. Top tier trading team, in rhythm and rhyme, screen share love, walking you through in real Yeah. Top tier trading team. Yeah. We clocking pre-market. From the watch list to the closing bell. Let's go. We were students of the chart, now we teach from the heart. Turn confusion to a craft, like the dark on your graph. Minuteship, strategy, zoom room, faculty. Clean risk, clear plan, trade stacks, tactically, weekly. Study halls, numbers on the wall. Mark zones, mark time, mark where you might fall. Q&A sessions, every scar's a lesson. We protect capital, that's our first confession. Trading Mars lined up like tools in a kit. You bring fear, we bring framework, help you commit. Screen share running, candle by candle, walk you through the play till you ready to handle. Top tier trading team, watch us level the line. Turn panic into patience, every entry refined. From the bell to the bell, we align and climb. Top tier trading team, yeah, trading our prime. Top tier trading team, this a blueprint. Trust, turn FOMO into focus. Greed in the dust, we don't chase, we choose, let the setup speak. Top tier trading team, build a trader each week. Yeah, phone buzz once, that's a real-time alert. We don't text hype, only plans that work. Right price, right zone, right risk on the phone. If the math ain't math, then we leave it alone. Private chat room lit, but the talk stay clean. No lotto dreams, just a disciplined team. From the small account flip to the funds you guard. We map roadways out of every backyard. Group call Sunday, set the whole week's tone. What we like, what we skip, where we tighten the zone. You came in solo, eyes wide, full doubt. Now you call plays, calm voice, lights out. Top tier trading team, watch us level the line. Turn panic into patience, every entry refined. From the bell to the bell, we align and climb. Top tier trading team, yeah, we trading our prime. Top tier trading team, this a blueprint. Trust, turn FOMO into focus. Greed in the dust, we don't chase, we choose, let the setup speak. Top tier trading team, build a trader each week, yeah. From mentorship touches to live screen scenes. From study hall nights to the daylight green. From the first small win to your first big streak. We right there, same call, same chart, same week, yeah. Top tier trading team. Say the name, that's facts. If you bring the work in, we bring you the tracks. From the open to the close, we gon' move precise. Top tier trading team, we don't gamble, we slice, yeah. Yeah. Top tier trading team. Yeah. We clocking pre-market. From the watch list to the closing bell. Let's go. We were students of the chart, now we teach from the heart. Turn confusion to a craft, like the dark on your graph. Minuteship, strategy, zoom room, faculty. Clean risk, clear plan, trade stacks, tactically, weekly. Study halls, numbers on the wall. Mark zones, mark time, mark where you might fall. Q&A sessions, every scar's a lesson. We protect capital, that's our first confession. Trading Mars lined up like tools in a kit. You bring fear, we bring framework, help you commit.
Top tier trading team. Now, come on, y'all. Hey, on, girl. Oh, come on down. Go don't you be too late. We'll show you how to work that market gate. Got one strategy, sit you right down. Tune up your plan, turn your game around. Person on minute, talking real plain, so you can ride that chart like a fast freight train. Everybody with the top 10 trading team. Do the trader. Come learn clean, come learn keen. Do the trader. We got your back when the bell go ring. Sign on up, let your profits sing. Everybody with the top 10 trading team. Do the trader. Every single week we got a study hall crew. Q&A, cooking, breaking patterns for you. Screens up big, we be sharing that view. Guiding through the trades till the move run through. Phones start buzzing when I set up call. Real-time alerts, we don't miss that ball. Everybody with the top 10 trading team. Come learn clean, come learn keen. We got your back when the bell go ring. Sign on up, let your profits sing. Everybody with the top 10 trading team. Got a private little room where the traders all chat. Talking through the winds, learn from the flat. You ain't trading all alone in the dark like that. You got a family of pros saying you can do that. Oh yeah. Oh, everybody with the top 10 trading team. Come learn clean, come learn keen. We got your back when the bell go ring. Sign on up, let your profits sing. Everybody with the top 10 trading team.
All right, guys, welcome. Give me 1 second here and make sure our levels are good. Want to make sure that we're all set. Welcome to the study hall this week. Give me just a sec to do an AV check, make sure everything is connected. I hate to go through it like we had that tech issue earlier this last week where I didn't realize I had the audio was off, but the video was on. So, but it looks like we are all in check here. So again, welcome to this week's study hall. It's the 8th of March here. We're going to take a little bit of the look just back at the week, of course, and then a look ahead here. Let me do one last check and make sure we're good. And I'll get us started, guys. One moment. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and get ourselves started here, guys. And again, welcome. Welcome to this week's Sunday study hall. Again, appreciate you guys coming out. A testament to your commitment to becoming better traders. I know there's lots of things you could be doing on a Sunday afternoon. The fact that you're here is a great thing here. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking the time to be here. So let's go ahead and get our started, shall we? First things first, let's go ahead and start with some of the trades that we kind of went over in last week and that we went through this week. And we had some success on a lot of them. It was really a very nice week for us. Let's go ahead and start with Amazon here. Now, as you can see, what I've got it on is right now the 15-minute time frame. These blue lines here separate each week. So we have individual days in between here. And then this is a whole week between these thick blue lines here. All right, just so you have that understanding there. So what we had looked for last week was very simply this 204 to hold, okay? And again, anything we go over here, you guys can also go back in the videos and recall. We'll have those in those last week's study halls, as well as I think Monday morning we also went over it as well. But we were looking for this 204 to hold. Exactly what it did. It got tested. You could see rather early. And then we just, once we got that confirmation, you could see we just stair-stepped the whole way up from there. Now, we wanted to see was that if that held, really it was 207 and 208, because we were looking to take this long up to the potential of 212 here. And that's exactly what we got to. Now, if you recall, guys, I had mentioned that I expected this to be a level of resistance, but that if in fact we did get through this area and we had a pullback and had actually confirmed that support level, well, that we would get a move all the way up to 220, right? And look, exactly what we did was that. Now, we were fortunate. We grabbed this move here. I wasn't able to capture this move. I was in other things, and again, you can't be in everything all the time, right? So you're gonna miss once in a while. You're gonna miss a move here and there, but we were still able to capitalize from our original plan of the week, which was right here. You can see at first it was tested throughout the beginning of the week. We actually had a small little break of that level, but then it recaptured, gave us confirmation of that support, which gave us the ability to be confident in that long. And look, when we got that long, what did we get it with? Higher volume, a very nice volume candle, which took us right up into our 212 zone, right? And that's where we ended up getting out of that position, just taking profits along the way here, obviously at 208, or excuse me, 210, and then every dollar up until we got to that 212, and I got out of that position there. Now, if you guys had recalled what I had said about this 212 level holding and took this trade up here, congratulations. That was a great move. I mean, look at that. That's a beautiful move, almost a 20-point move, from just under 204, basically 202. And if you recall, the week prior, we went long from that 200 to 202 level, right? That's why we have that double green there. So some of us have been able to capture it all the way from sub 200 when it was down near 195, 198. But we've had a real nice ride here on up. Now, as you can clearly see, we have a double top resistance right at that 220 level, and we've retraced back now. And right now we're sitting right near that 212 again, right? So now we're going to flip this around for next week. Now, guys, I know it's a little bit messy here because I know I wanted to show you what happened the week prior. I'm going to clean this up. So come Monday morning, the charts will be much easier to see. And even later on, I might have it cleaned up for us at a recap when we're done here to kind of move forward with next week's trades as well. But I'm going to have that outline for you much, much cleaner. No later than Monday morning for our prep, but I'll have it here for us today too. So anyway, now we've got that double top resistance, and we're clearly having pulled back to that very crucial 212 area. I think we're still bullish or bearish here. I think because the overall market is as such. And again, guys, we gave up that 676 last week on Friday. After holding it a couple of times throughout the week, it seemed like it wanted to, but all day Friday, it kept bumping up against it, and it kept just acting as resistance. And so it gave it up. And then you can clearly see we got that move here with Amazon, as Amazon tends to somewhat have a symbiotic relationship with the SPY. It was rather bullish, obviously, at first, extra bullish. But that was partly because, like we explained last week, there was a gap fill. And that's one reason I wanted that I figured that 212 to 220 was going to zippity doo-dah kind of fill if it did get in there, and that's exactly what happened. But now I anticipate the pullback along with the rest of the market, having still the uncertainty from the Middle East, as well as the jobs numbers that came in Friday. Clearly, you saw the market's reaction from the non-farm payrolls, and it wasn't very happy with those numbers. So I think we have a pullback here to look forward to, and that's what we are going to look forward to for this coming week here on Amazon. Okay, now I've got that outline here already for us. So what we're looking for is basically a test of this area right here. We have 217.35 is going to be our stop, but anywhere in this zone, starting at about 214.50 on up to 216.35 12 is a good buy zone as well. Now, you know how we are. We love to get our stops tested, right? And you can see there's kind of this little bit of gap area here. So I really want to see this stop tested. And I think we'll get that. See, and on Friday, see how we ended with this 15-minute candle? That's definitely, looking like we're bullish, or I'm sorry, bearish, but I think that we still have a little bit of a rebound to expect here. Nothing moves in straight lines. And what I'd like to see is a test of the VWAP one more time. And then, which, takes us right into this part of our buy zone. But, price action will take us above certain levels sometimes. So I anticipate we'll get right into this right here. Would love to get our test of our stop, and once that stop is confirmed to be resistance, and then we filled in this tiny little gap here, well, then that would be the perfect time to start loading up on some positions, because then, of course, we see that weakness as this acts as resistance. We take on buy into that weakness, and then just take our profits right along the way here. 212, 210, all the way down to 208. Okay, let me go ahead and change this color. And that 208, as you can see, was our entry point for a long in the week prior, right? So now that is going to end up being our profit target for this trade. Well, our final profit target for this trade. Wait just a second, folks. I'll get that cleared up. There we go. Okay. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? So we're looking for a test of our 217, okay, 217.35. We want to see resistance, buy into that weakness through this green zone. Okay, but we don't go any further than this. We don't chase after here. We only buy in here. We want to keep our risk reward, right? Very important. We want it 3-to-1, right? And that's what we've got here. Perfect. So, and if we buy near our stop, we're fortunate because we could start taking profits early, even within what would be a normal area to buy. We're able to start taking profits. And then we just do that all along the way. All right, so that's Amazon for next week. And guys, I'm going to try to go fast. I know sometimes we kind of take our time and, we go 20 minutes for each before we move on. So I'm going to be very quick this week here with this. All right, so that's Ford now. Let's go ahead and move. I'm sorry, that's Amazon. Let's go ahead and move on to Ford. Now, Ford had a very interesting couple of weeks. Ever since the earnings, kind of had a crazy reaction. But anyway, we had a nice move on up from 1375 the 2 weeks prior, all the way up to 1480. Now there's been the market pullback, plus the pullback just from that big move that it made naturally. And again, it needed to kind of make that pullback, right? This was a big move right here. And then on top of that, there was the market sentiment overall. And then Ford also had a recall. I think it's like 1.73 million cars to be recalled for some type of repair. So that is another thing that's kind of bringing it down a little bit more, and it's exacerbating the down move a little bit more than the market in general. But that being said, originally what we were looking for before the market turned around and also was kind of turned around by that news with the jobs, was that we were looking for a potential long, but we had mentioned how important it was that 14 had held, right? 14 was the key right up here. Now, as you can clearly see, that 14 did not hold. And look what happened when that 14 didn't hold. So we went into the week on Sunday looking for the long. but being very careful, we had mentioned the possibility for the short and how important the 14 was. This is why we had both of these setups. If you recall, here's the long entry, and here's a short stop and a long stop because we had to wait for the decision, right? Well, the decision was clearly made here. So we ended up taking the short, and look what we've done just the whole week. We just stair step down and look, took profits off here, took profits off here, took profits off here, took profits off here, all the way down. Now, this was a lot more than we expected, all right, clearly, because of the combined news that added to the sentiment. We were thinking maybe to 13, something like that. We're just a hair above 12. So this was an awesome trade for us, guys. And really, if you were able to capitalize on this, congratulations. I hope you take yourself, your significant other, or someone out to a nice dinner and maybe a nice weekend, because this was one of those types of trades. You get a $2 move on a $14 stock. And this was easy, a nice, easy ride. There was a little bit of bump here, but not anything. Nothing that ever would have shook us out. We were always under VWAP. VWAP just continuously acted as resistance, even especially when we went to major levels. It just helped us out each time. So great job on this trade this week, guys. And this is why we're ambidextrous. This is one of the beauties of being a retail trader. Institutions don't just get to choose short one day, long one day. Heck, we could be long 1 hour, short the next hour, whatever is most appropriate for us. And as you know from our past with Ford, we like to play Ford every which way we can, and we do. This was just a great short here, guys. So congrats on that. And I expect more moving forward. So that's what we're looking for here for Ford. We are basically going to look for the same continuous sentiment. We are going to short bounces. Okay, let me go ahead and move this up. Okay, so basically, as you can see how we've got outlined here, all we're looking for is a gap up to test this 1234 area. We have our stop at 1240. Okay, don't mind this. This is from last week. Move that out of there. All right. I don't mind these extra notes. It's just there so like when we're here for the study hall that we can recall what happened in there. But you can see all the short entries that we took advantage of. Every time it popped into these areas, we just kept short, and it was beautiful. But yeah, here we go. What we'd like to see is just a reattempt to kind of get up into these levels. I want to see 1234 to 1240 act as resistance. Would love that test of our stop once we get that confirmation of the stop. And I'm going to keep it tight, guys, because this was such a big move down. All right. And I don't think we're going to get much lower than 12 or 1180. I think 1180 is probably the floor before we actually kind of potentially start to turn around. 1.73 million cars isn't a small number, but it isn't too much to deal with either. Like they'll eventually bounce over this. And you got to remember, a lot of this is profit taking too. For those that have been in Ford since say $9-10, which was another prior real tight support level, they're going to be having taken profit up at that 15. I mean, they've made such a nice amount of profit at that level. There's also profit taking along with those other two variables we have discussed. But I do believe that between 1180 and 12, we're going to attempt to floor out. What I'd like to see before that is one more attempt to regain this level, and then we'll short that on down. Okay, if we get that confirmation 1240 is indeed um, uh, resistance, and we'll go ahead and take those positions, taking profit off at 1224, right in front of 12 there, and then right in front of 1180, maybe 1185, just to make sure we don't get caught in a bounce there. But that's what we're looking for Ford. Now, full disclosure, even though I'm short on Ford here, I mean, as we should, because of the combination of market sentiment and the variable we just discussed. Long term, I'm not. I'm very bullish on it, and I've got leaps that are calls that are going to go out to 2028. I'm going to go ahead, full disclosure, buy $12 calls. Now that gives plenty of time for management on those plays. So that's a long swing leap trade that I am looking to get into. And then I'm just going to, as it moves up, like every 20% or so, I'll take a tier off over time and kind of build a position that way. And then, of course, watching, if I need to, I'll certainly put a hedge on. And we talk about that sometimes in our one-on-ones. Don't want to get into that too much of that now. But with having that sentiment, I do believe that we will try to floor out here. So I want to have the expectation that we're going to go much further than 1180. I'm not saying we won't, but I want to keep our expectations tempered here. Okay, but that's what we're looking at for looking at as far as Monday and moving forward. And you guys know, as the week goes on, if we get in these trades and they work out, or if the setups break down, the very next day, if there is another setup forming, I'm going to go over those on the pre-market as well. So you know how this goes for us, guys. We're very nimble and we are ambidextrous here. All right, but that's Ford. So let me go ahead and move on to Netflix. And we're spending some time here on these. Netflix was another great long here. We ended up missing the first move that we had laid out. It just gapped up so quickly on us. We didn't have a chance to get it. But that's okay. We got a chance to get it later, which was just fine. But prior to that, we missed it by like $1 or $2 on our entry. Sometimes that happens. But anyway, it had gapped up at the beginning of the week, and then you could see it kind of leveled out right at this area here, just above that or around that 96. And then once we had seen that happen, we were very just kind of patient with that. We wanted to make sure, because as you could see, we tested our stop a couple of times. Let me zoom in and out a little bit. See, when we started the week, it actually got down below our stop, but then it very nicely regained it with strength. But then, we got the confirmation, which was really nice. We got the pullback right into that stop. Okay, once I got that confirmation, that's when we took that position. As you can see, we just kind of slowly stair-stepped to that area, but then we pulled back. Okay, and this one took its sweet time. You can see it just took the whole day, Monday, Tuesday, to finally get up over that level. And it happens. We get into these day trades sometimes, and they take an extra day. That's fine. But this is also why we don't get same week expirations, right? Even when we get a day trade, it's at least 2 weeks out. We got this one for the following week, so which gave us the time to manage and be patient with this position. Thankfully, we got it, that move, and we had signs that it was going to come the whole time. We just had to be patient, and then we finally got that confirmation. I mean, look at that, move right up through, and then it went right up there to that 98.25. It held that 98 very nicely. It finally moved on up and up into this 100. And I anticipated that to be resistance. If you could go back to last week's study hall, I said to be very careful once we got up there, because I anticipated that to be the very thing. Now, since then, very, very bullish, because it held up there. And it's still holding that 98 very nicely. I still think we're going to have a little bit of a pullback on it. Again, the overall sentiment in the market, but I think we do have a shot here at another long for next week. Okay, so next week, starting Monday, I've already got it put out here. And this was on Friday. It was our last little bit of an entry here, as you can see. It held our stop, and then we got this little play. But then we got out. We don't like to hold positions over the weekend, so. But it was a nice little day trade. You know, it wasn't anything to write home about. But hey, you know, not every play is going to be a home run, right? Doubles, singles, triples, the whole. Eventually, you still get on base here, you know. And every time, and those small wins add up too. So, but what we're looking for on Monday is simply a pullback here to test this 98.50. I'm sorry, 98.25. All right, we get confirmation that 98.25 holds. All right, then we can go ahead and buy into that strength through 99, and then just every dollar, just take profit every dollar. Here we go, 100, 101, 102. Go ahead and put that 102 up there. That's it. Okay. That's it. That's Netflix. Just incredibly bullish. You know, that news with that deal with Paramount just been really driving it. And it was very oversold, I think. It went from well above 100 to 75. And that was a big move back. And, you know, for reasons that weren't so valid, in my opinion, for that big of a pullback, uh, though the majority of it was understandable. They just thought it was a bit oversold and excessive. So sometimes you get those snapback moves, and that kind of happened. And then you got the news with the deal with Paramount, just gave it that extra turbo boost, and here we are. So, but yeah, that's what we're looking at, guys, for next week. 98.25 to hold. We get confirmation of that support there. All right, then we just buy into the strength through 99, and then we could just start tearing out profits along the way. Okay, so that is Netflix. Next is Palantir. This was an animal this week. My goodness, you know, all the news, everything happening in the Middle East, just drove this thing to madness. It was great. If you got in, congratulations, because you made a nice, almost 30-point move here. So we went from this area last week to 135 area here, and then you can see we had this 140.50 daily pivot, which was really important of a level. Okay, as you can see, the bottom end of that gap was at 137, and once it entered that gap, look at, poof, filled it, and it created that gap, but then it just filled it. But once that level held, look at that V-shaped recovery. That's a sign of strength, guys. When you see those V-shaped recoveries, and then it holds that right side, that's a really good bullish sign. And that was exactly what we had been looking for the setup that we had here. So let's go ahead and kind of zoom in a little bit on that setup. Okay, so basically what we had wanted was this right here, and then we got confirmation. We got right into the stop here. All right, and then look, it was perfect. That stop, right into our buy zones. Got an opportunity to take profit off right here. You got a nice little pullback and held that level. And every time we get a new high and we pull back and that new high becomes support, that's another bullish sign, right? Well, we got that very sign of support, and then look at the continuation move. All right. And each time, look at the volume through those levels. Every time we go through those levels, we want exactly that. We want high volume moves through those levels with low volume pullbacks. That'll give us the confidence to know that levels are likely to hold and that we can expect continuation moves. And that's exactly what we got here. All right. Now, we were able to take advantage of the move from here to here and then a little bit of here to here, and we're out of that position now. We are building a little bit of resistance up here. And what we'd like to see for next week is simply a pullback into this 147. That's our stop. Whoops. There we go. For some reason, it wasn't grabbing it. We want to pull back into this 147. And once we have that confirmation of support, well, anywhere within this range, really. I mean, I keep saying that we want to test a stop because I prefer the stops to be tested. They offer the opportunity to increase our risk reward ratio, right? We shoot for 3-to-1 to begin with. If we could extend that to 4-to-1, even 5-to-1, well, guys, I mean, it's way better profit margins for us. And then when you get continuation moves on top of that, like we did with Ford, where you get unexpectedly stronger moves than we're planning. I'm sorry, I just hit the microphone. That's even better, guys, because you could sometimes get those 7, 8, 10x on your contract situation. So love getting our stops tested and confirmed as levels, whether that's support or resistance. But that's what we want. We want at least to get into this zone here, but I would love to see the test of that 147 and confirmed support. We buy into that strength up and through 150, 250. I think just every $2.50 we're going to take profit. I think we're going to have to retest this, but I think we're going to get a resistance, a double top resistance overall here. The move that this has made has been big, again, largely because of what's going on in the Middle East and everything. And yeah, that's still going on, but it can only go so far. It has to kind of cool off a little bit regardless, right? And I think we're getting to that point where we're going to do that. I think we're going to come down into the zone and then come back up and retry this high again. But I think it's going to be likely, it has a chance to be exhausted, and then we might get a larger move down. But I think we still have an opportunity, a good opportunity, to capitalize on this move right here to retest that. Now, if and when we get here, guys, please, my recommendation is to take profits. And again, not a financial advisor. I'm just showing you what I'm looking at and what I do and what I'm seeing. But what I would be doing is taking that. Now, you could always get back into the trade. If we blaze up through this level and we pull back on low volume and we find this to be support again, nothing wrong with rebuying like a single contract and simply taking that back up to the next level and so on. Okay. But we don't want to be greedy. We want to take that profit, put it in our pocket. There's no better place for it. And again, risk management. We are more concerned with what we can lose than what we can make, right? This is one way to help kind of keep yourself safe in that. So that's what we're looking at here for Palantir moving forward this week is a long here. All right. So we've got so far Ford long. Oops. Move that back here. We've got Amazon short, Ford short, and then Netflix long, and Palantir long. All right. So we're mixing it up this week. So wherever the markets go, we're going to make money, guys. Now, the last thing I'm going to go over, and the last trade we had here was Mara. Mara was really nice for us as well. One thing I want to point out, if you guys haven't noticed, is certainly its relationship with Bitcoin. So this is Bitcoin, also on the 15-minute scale and time frame, and this is 2 weeks basically worth of activity, as is basically this. Now, do you notice anything? Let me flip back and forth a little. Notice any similarities? Darn near mirror each other, right? Well, more technically, Mara mirrors Bitcoin, right? So originally, we were looking for this right here. Obviously, this was our long, right? And we got that long right here. All right, we got to take this little move right here. I think that was Tuesday late. Yes, like late Tuesday or early Wednesday. So we were able to take advantage of that day trade. And see, guys, that's the beauty of these trade setups. It's like we'll set up for them. We may not get them right away. You see, we got that gap up right off the bat that took us way up there because Bitcoin ran up above that 70K, remember last week. Well, as Bitcoin pulled back, you can see we got that. But as Bitcoin was trying to hold that 70, that's what was giving us this Mari move here. And so we were able to capitalize on this move right here, which was a nice little move from 875 to 950, basically. Okay. Didn't get us quite a full delta, but it was enough. It was enough. It's a good double, almost a triple. And then as Bitcoin just was weak through the week, you could see it just followed suit the whole time. Once we saw this level break right here, we saw how important this 9 was. We had mentioned how important that 9 was, right? And we said if it lost it and it didn't regain it, it was going to be trouble. Well, you could see why. Because look, once it lost it and couldn't regain it here, it came all the way down here along with Bitcoin. And I think you were basically in the same boat here. So long as Bitcoin continues to be weak, and it is, I mean, for it to really gain any bullishness, it's got to get back up over that 69 to 70K. Nothing is more bearish than a failed breakout, and that's exactly what we have there. So I think we're good here for another short as well. So what I'd like to see, oh no, I didn't put it on here. Well, basically, when I'm sorry, guys, I thought I had the trade plan. I'll have it on here for Monday, for sure. By Monday, I'll have it up there. But basically, what I'd like to see is this 850 potentially retested. But honestly, I think we could start looking into getting into this position short as early as, I'll even put it on here while we're here together. I say 830. All right, so 830. And we'll make that green so you know it's our entry for the short. Then I would say that area goes as low as this 814. But I think we could use this 850 as our stop. Trade planning on the fly here with you guys, but I will tighten this ship down by Monday morning, so it'll be that way. So it'll be very clear on the lives or the live. All right, so basically, this is what we're looking at. Let me get these out of the way. There we go. Okay. Um, so long as Bitcoin continues to be weak, okay. So again, it's all about if then statements here, right? If Bitcoin is weak, then we can look for this continuous weakness here on Mara as well. So we can look for anywhere from this 814 on up to be an entry zone. We'd love to get that stop tested, how we are with that. And that stop zone might even really be more like 840. I'm going to give it a little bit of a wider move because of just the way the activity has been. Normally it's a little bit of a tighter stop, but I'm okay with going up to 850 there. But I mean, we're really good even in this area. But then obviously, if we do get it up there and we get tested at that 850, find that to be that resistance, we'll take profit even as far, as early as 830 to 825, somewhere in this zone. And then, of course, we could start taking profits again at about 8. We have 790 as the low of the day from obviously the 6th, but then I think we could I would get it at 8, and then like maybe 780, 775, something like that. Okay, let me go ahead and put that last one down. All right, 775. All right, 775. We could go ahead and we know that's the lower day, so we're gonna take profit just in front of that low of the day. Okay, there we go. So that's what we're looking at for Mara. We see continuous weakness in crypto. Then we look to short Mara. We look at any bounce backs as high as 850. We want to see that resistance. We purchase up here. I'll be taking profit as early as 8.25, right in this zone here, and then 8, and then 775. Okay, but that is it for Mara. All right, guys. So that's it. Those are the ones that we are looking at. The ones from last week, and these are the setups that we've got to kind of iron down. And again, Monday, guys, I'll have this much more cleared up and cleaned up and stuff. But that's what we're looking at for the week here. So again, we've got a couple longs, couple shorts, so we're nice and varied. So no matter what the market does, we're ready for it, right? So we've got a short here on Amazon, short on Ford, long on Netflix, long on Palantir, and a short on Mara, provided crypto is weak. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that is it as far as the wrap up from last week and then what we're looking at for the week upcoming. If you guys have any questions about these trades, if you got questions about other trades that you're in or tickers that you're in as well, you can feel free to leave those now in the chat. If you have anything that's more complicated, obviously for those of you that have it, feel free to reach out directly, and we can kind of cover those more independently. I don't want to go over things that are too much because we have a wide range of people here. I don't want, it might not be suitable for everybody and so forth. So, but other than that, anything here, anything basic that we kind of have gone over or are going over, go ahead and feel free to please leave those in the chat, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. All right. It's going to be just a second here, guys. All right, I want to make sure that we're open here. So go ahead, leave your questions in the chat, and then we'll go ahead and address those as they come in. And let's go ahead and get you up to speed on whatever it is you'd like to know about. All right, let me make sure that we are all good here. All right, folks. Well, I'm looking to see, and pardon me, guys. I'll get to them as soon as possible. I'm navigating multiple social medias here on my own, and as many of you know, I'm a one-man band here, so I will get to them as readily as I possibly can. Of course, patience, I appreciate. Put a little something on while I look and gather those questions up. Okay. And again, let's do one last recap of the trades that we're looking for this week, starting the 9th here of March. So we have a couple of longs and a couple of shorts. First, we've got a short on Amazon. All right, we want to see that again. 217 tested. We'll buy into that weakness, taking profit right along the way here. 212, 210, 208. Ford, we're looking for another short as well. I want to see that 1240 act as resistance, buying into that weakness, taking profit at 1224, 12, and 1180. Netflix, we're going to go long. We're looking to go long anyway. We want to pull back into 98.25 to test our stop, buy into that strength through 99, taking profit at 100, 101, 102. Palantir is another long. We want to pull back into 147. Once we have confirmation of support at 147, we buy into that strength through 152.50, taking profit at 155, 157 and 50, 160, and then we could potentially look even as high as that 165. But I would be looking to get out of my full position up there, but it may be even as early as that 160. We'll see what happens there. And then, of course, Mara provided that crypto is weak, of course, which I anticipated being, because as of now, it still is. We're well below that 69.70K that it needs to be above to regain bullishness. So we're going to look for up to 850, between 850 to 840 to be tested for our stop, and then buy into that weakness, selling and taking profit at 775. And again, if we do get that 850 tested, we would also take profit at about 8.25. We'd take that first profit. So again, guys, I'm waiting for any questions you have, and we'll get those answered ASAP, and then we could call it a wrap here today. For those of you that aren't yet members, join us at toptiertradingteam.com. As of right now, we're a private Facebook group. We are working on our independent platform at the time. We hope to have that complete by this month. But as you can see, this is one of the things that we offer are these weekend study halls, where obviously we go over the trades from the week prior and setups we're looking for the week ahead. On top of that, we have one-on-one personal mentorship as well. It's not just a number of videos that you're going to watch and then you're left to kind of absorb context and understanding on your own. We'll actually get on the phone with you. We'll discuss strategies, what options are best for you, the type of trades to take, so on and so forth, what your objectives are, and really buckle down a plan that's best for you. And that I find is really beneficial in helping traders be profitable. And on top of that, for those of you that are very busy, which is understandable between work and kids, school, and whatever that may be, they can't stand, all day long in front of a screen and watching charts. We do have swing trade alerts direct to your phone, and they're real time. And again, they're swing trade alerts. They're never going to be scalps or day trades, because we want to give you the option to look at them, really observe them, have an understanding, and decide, have enough time to decide whether or not you'd like to participate in that, in which case you have the time to manage those positions instead of just getting in a quick move too late, because of course that's how it is with day trades and scalps. So those will all be swing trade alerts directly to your phone in real time, so that you can make an educated decision from there whether to take that trade or not. But yeah, and more. So again, we're at toptiertradingteam.com. Once you sign up, we'll reach out, get you started from there, and we look forward to helping you become a profitable trader. All right. So let's go ahead and see if we have any more questions about anything. Give me 1 second to double check all our different places, guys. All right. Well, it seems like you guys really have it down here. I think it's pretty simple. I think we made it pretty nicely wrapped up here for us for the week. We've got 2 longs, 2 shorts, really 3 shorts. But whatever the market does here this week, we do plan to make some money. And guys, I really appreciate you coming out again on Sunday. Look forward to it next Sunday. And then we'll see you here Monday morning for pre-market prep. Probably hear my dog in the background there, guys, so I apologize. But again, every trading day, 8 a.m., we'll do our pre-market prep where we're going to go over the trades moving forward for that day, what setups we might be looking at. And yeah, we'll go from there. So look forward to seeing you guys next week, and have a great rest of your weekend. All right, take care.
Cup and a story to tell. Candle on the screen, got a tail in the wick. Wrist tight, mind right, pulling that trigger quick. Green Day grin with a country draw. Blues in my past, now I'm watching it fall. Rocking my spine, reggae sway in my seat. Top tier trading team, bringing that heat. Hey! Top tier trading team. We ride that wave from the red to the green, from the fear to grave. Charts look mean, but we still don't cave. We just dance through the drawdown, pockets to save. Top tier trading team, turn the grind to a dream. High tide, high vibe, let the profits stream. Every bell, every bar, we're a laser beam. Top tier trading team. Top tier trading team. Calls on a runner, puts for the slide. Cover my downside, let the upside glide. Stop, set, snug, so the loss stays small. Win big, lose small, that's the name of the call. Pivot out support, let the losers go. Let the winners walk, let the compound grow. From the laptop glow to the back porch swing, we'll sing about spreads like a porch front hymn. Oh yeah! Top tier trading team. We ride that wave from the red to the green to the fear to brave. Charts look mean, but we still don't cave. We just dance through the drawdown, pockets to save. Top tier trading team. Turn the grind to a dream. High tide, high vibe, let the profits stream. Every bell, every bar. Tortilla trading team. Turn the grind to a dream. High tide, high vibe with the profit stream. Every bell, every bar, we're a laser beam. Tortilla trading team. Tortilla trading team. It's that scream. Tortilla trading team. We're a match with dreams.